What do you do when you confront with this? But here you are, you're just going along. And all of a sudden you're confronted by this one thing, that something has gone very wrong in your existence. What do you do? And you're like, well, I just had a headache. I went in because I felt like I had a headache, or I felt like I had a tummy ache. I didn't know it was going to be a life-threatening diagnosis where I had to have surgery immediately. I know it's going to shock you. Are you going to flail around? But like you heard in my story, it's okay. You're going to fool and flail around for a little bit, but then you have to come back to center. You're going to have to come back to it because you have to deal with it. Because how you deal with it is going to help the family deal with it. And let's face it, you're going to get into a place where you won't feel anything. It won't bother you. But the people who are left behind, they have the burden that they're going to have to carry. What do you do? And this is the thing. And this is why I say, you see, at the moment when you get the diagnosis, that's when you ultimately are going to say, man, I'm so glad I did that degree. I'm so glad I went to South America. I'm so glad I got to live my life. I am so glad, because now you don't have that bucket list. Not that there's anything wrong with a bucket list, because some people have found an extension of life after a bucket list because they actually left everything behind. But what a diagnosis does is it brings your existence, your mortality, into sharper focus. Because now you're going to determine what is what a priority and what is not. Some of the things we make a priority are not. We fight about little stuff. You're married. I was talking with my sister about that last night. How divorce is such a plague because we fight about stuff that don't even matter. You know what matters is life. It is critical to talk about life, but we fight about stuff. The toilet seat not covered. You didn't pick up the dry cleaning. You didn't pick up the milk. You forgot to pay the bill. You forgot to do this. Well, you should have go pick up the kids from soccer. Well, you didn't do this. Well, you didn't do that. How about just stop? None of that matters. What if the same person you're fighting with, whom you claim you love, comes home and tell you they got a diagnosis? Do you know how much your world is going to change? Do you know the kind of grief that people go through when something happens to the love of their life, the person whom they love so dearly? Sometimes it takes a diagnosis to bring critical things into focus, because you're like, I never knew I loved them like that. I never knew I loved my mom like that. I never knew how critical and integral she was to my well-being, my emotional health. I never knew that until I had to confront her mortality. I couldn't believe. I kept saying, you're going to leave me? The week before she died, this is a true story, I said these words to her. You're going to leave me? You really going to leave me now? I need you. And she said, it's not my will, but the Father's will. And I put my head, grown woman that I am, running my own business. People know me to be the strength of everything. I put my head on her belly and put her hand on my head. And I said to her, and she said, girl, what are you doing? And I said, for once, I just want to be your little girl again. Let me cry in here because I can't cry out there. Let me be your little girl again. It took me all of 5 seconds. Then I had to sit up and say, okay, we have some phone calls to make. I'm going to call some people to come to say goodbye to you. I kid you not. My mother was just looking at me and shaking her head. Do you see what I'm saying? All of us have to confront that. Now, honestly, I couldn't talk about this a year ago, 2 years ago. But do you see how the process of grief works? I'm in recovery. I'm recovering. I can talk about it now and share with you how important it is to have a plan and how important it is. I watched my mother as her life seeped away say that she was 72. And mom was saying, I'm not done yet. I still have things I want to do. And I'm like, Mom, you did 2 years over the 10 that they gave you. Come on. Right? And she's like, what is wrong with it? There's still things I haven't done. I have a whole lot of stuff that I want to do. There's a whole lot of stuff that I still want to do. I don't want that to be your cry. I want you to live every day in expectation that today is the best day of your life. No matter what happens, even if they fire you, look at it this way. The longer you live is the more you pay attention to what really matters. I have now come to the place, the first time I got fired, I was like, oh, my whole life is over. By the third time, I'm like, this is teaching me a lesson. I'm like, you don't control my life as long as I have life. To heck with you. It gave me the strength to walk away from situations that could have chained me, or I could have been chained to in my thinking this had to happen. I kid you not. Right? And I had to walk away from stuff. Right? So I'm saying to you that the same situation rings true for you as well. That you have to, when you are confronted with this, it suddenly puts everything into sharp focus. And suddenly you know exactly what is important, what is a priority, and who is a priority. And suddenly you realize how much of an influence you have on others. Because there are people you now recognize who were dependent on you. And who know how are they going to cope. You have to talk them through it. You have to do it one-on-one and talk to them one-on-one. Explain it to them. Reassure them that you love them. Reassure them that this is what it is. Right? And this is what, to assure them how they can move on and how they can live. But here's what I want you to do. Do this, do that. They will not forget that. Years ago, my mentor, Dawn, died from throat cancer. This was 20-something years ago on Valentine's Day, 1996. And we knew she was dying because the cancer had come back and it was bad. And I kid you not, when it was 4 days before she died, she said, look at me. She said, I love you. You've been like a daughter to me. And I was happy to have been a mother to you. She said, I was your surrogate mom and I knew that. And she said, you're going to miss me and it's going to hurt. And she said, look at me. And she told me plain enough. She said, I'm dying. I have to tell you the truth. She said, no. The doctors can't do anything more. Don't worry about it. Don't go talking to them. Don't try. She said, it is out of their hands. But she said, look at this. And she told me the truth. And she said, but you got to go to counseling. Promise me 2 things. That you're going to go to counseling and find Jesus and you're going to divorce your ex-husband. And you're going to divorce your husband. I kid you not. She did. You know what that did for me? It helped me to cope in the days and months after that. Because I said she loved me enough to level with me and to give me an expectation and to see the specific areas in which I will need her. She already told me what I should do about that. Do you see what I mean? That's why it's important to talk to the people whom you love. The people who are dependent on you for advice. The people who come to you all the time. The people who call you and say, bro, sis, uncle, auntie, cousin, friend. The people who come to you. It's important to have the conversation with them. Let them know. Right? Teach them. Teach them how to walk it out. Tell them, I love you, but this, based on your conferences with them, based on how you have interacted with them. And as for you, you got the diagnosis. As far as I'm concerned, you need to live your best life starting today. So as of this day, promise yourself that you are going to do everything that you can to live your best life. Promise yourself that you're going to do everything to live your best life. Promise yourself that. You're going to say it. You deserve it and you need to do it. Live your best life. Stop the arguing with the people you love. Stop fighting over little nitty-gritty things. My people, hear what I am saying. Stop the fights. It's not important. Stop fighting about the little things. Focus on the big things. When stuff starts coming up, ask yourself, what's the takeaway here? What's the bigger agenda? What is it that I should focus on instead of this other stuff? Stop fighting about you didn't pick up the groceries. Hell, go order groceries, they'll deliver it. Go pick it up outside the grocery store. If you really want to, they'll deliver it too. Right? Oh, so you didn't cook today? Okay, so can we have enough money? Okay, let's order something on DoorDash or Grubhub or whatever. Do you see what I'm saying? Stop fighting about the little things. So you didn't do the laundry. Okay, so the laundry is downstairs. The laundry is right around the corner. Go get the clothes done. You didn't pick up any milk. All right, well, we can do it. We have some other kind of milk. We can wait till tomorrow, right? Right. In other words, what I'm saying is focus on, keep the main thing, and live your best life. This is Harriet Kamak. Thank you so much for joining us. Go to my website, harrietkamak.com, for more information.